Man has emerged from the shadows of antiquity with a peregrine on his wrist. Its dispassionate brown eyes, more than those of any other bird, have been witness to the struggle for civilization. From the squalid tents on the steppes of Asia thousands of years ago, to the marble halls of European kings in the 17th century. Falconry is a hunting method where your weapon belongs to the natural world. Your weapon has the choice to hunt with you or not. I'm driving through eastern Montana right now, headed to North Dakota to meet some falconers. I'm pretty excited. It should be an interesting week to learn all about falconry. I just made it to North Dakota, and there's not much here but a few cows, a few birds, and the falconers. These guys have been camped out here for a couple of months, dedicating their days to their falcons. Their camp is pretty bare bones basics. Oh, hello, doggy.
Hannah.
Hey, Ralph.
It's good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Welcome to cold and gray North Dakota.
Thank you.
You just met Earl. He's one of my hunting partners here.
Aw.
He's a sweetheart. And this is Mike over here.
Hey, Mike.
Mikey's sometimes friendly and he sometimes isn't.
Yeah.
Earl always is. Earl's always happy to see anybody.
Cute dogs.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the world of falconry.
Thank you.
Actually, this nasty weather is actually good for us. The birds prefer the cold, and we got it.
Cool.
We got snow last night, so.
Good. Awesome. So tell me about these dogs. What do they do?
They go out and find the birds for us. They find them, they point them, and they hold them actually. Until I can get there and get the bird turned loose. Sometimes they're a quarter to half mile away, and the bird will find them in the field and actually fly over the top of the dog, and that helps the bird, the grouse, hold still. Huh. And then they'll hold them there for me until I get there, and we'll flush the birds under the falcon, and the falcon will dive down, and all of this is a myth until it really happens. There's so many moving parts in falconry that it's difficult to make it all happen right every time.
Wow.
Oh, you've met the dogs? You'd like to meet the birds?
Yes, definitely.
All right. Let's go on over here.
Okay.
All right, Hannah, just step through. They're all on leashes, so they can't get very far. We have a peregrine falcon right here. This bird's name is Laguna Madre, and we have a gyr falcon up on the high perch, Walt Woodard. And these other two, interestingly enough, are crossed between peregrine falcons and gyr falcons. They're peregrine gyr hybrids, and there's been a lot of those made over the last several years. They seem to show some hybrid vigor and are excellent birds for falconry. Huh. This is Ben, over here in the foreground, flapping his wings. Okay. Ben always wants to go. Yeah. And over in the corner is Coco, the dark one, Coco.
It's interesting, even though these two are the same type, they look completely different.
They do. Gyr falcons run all the way from white, like Walt is there, to black. Peregrines are the traditional bird for falconry. Their dive speeds are somewhere around 250, 260 miles an hour, so they can go from here to South Dakota in a fit of anger if they want to.
Man.
Yep. They like to hunt from extreme altitudes, and when they find something underneath them, they'll go into this 250 mile an hour dive and catch it.
Man.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Now, keep in mind, this is all on a perfect day.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of moving parts, as I've already said, so we don't get many perfect days very often.
Okay.
In fact, the success is measured not in whether or not you caught something, but whether or not the bird actually dove beautifully down. I mean, it's a purely visual sport. So we're rewarded and the bird's rewarded if I serve her some game, and we want to catch enough to keep them interested in it and enough to have a celebratory meal around the campfire.
Yeah.
Would you like to see the rest of camp?
Yes, sure.
All right, home sweet camp. I'm not here by myself. We have another camper, John Wilde, a wildlife artist, and we'll see if he's in.
Okay, sounds good.
This is where John lives, in this granary, and this is our kitchen. This is where it's a little wet right now. We'd have a hard time starting a fire, but we cook what we catch over this open fire and sit out here and enjoy the views of the lake and the migrating birds every night.
Oh, sounds
We'll see if
like
John's
a good
in.
tradition.
It's a wonderful tradition. Well, he's not in. He's an artist. What he usually does on days like this is go paint. So we'll go catch him at his work.
I've been fascinated by birds of prey since I was a kid, really. I mean, as a young man loving birds and loving to drawing birds, thusly, it very much is a part of my artwork. The falconry itself, falls into that category of being an art form. The sport of falconry is the hunting part, but then there's all the, the maintenance part, so to speak. Beyond the love of the bird that we chase and the hawks that we use and the dogs, and it really almost becomes a way of life. Probably 30% of the sport is just learning by feel, trying to read those subtle little changes in the dog's behavior. Well, the same thing applies to the falcon. And that's where the art form comes in, I think, is that subtle interpretation of all this animal behavior.
The falconry has existed somewhere between 10 and 4,000 years ago.
Wow.
It's documented at 3,000. Since it's worldwide, since it's largely an oral tradition, it has existed through many, many different cultures. I mean, the way we practice falconry today and the way we practiced it 2,000 years ago in Saudi Arabia versus the United States versus Slovakia are all the same. The United Nations has said it's an intangible cultural heritage, where if the last falconer was to die, nobody would be able to carry on the tradition, like dance, like a language with only a few practitioners, like a musical instrument that only a handful of people know how to play or make. And so they designated falconry as an intangible cultural heritage, which is fantastic to us. They recognize it as a hunting art. And in fact it is. I mean, there's a lot of easier ways to put protein on a table than first going out catching and training a hawk. I mean, that's the first page of the instruction booklet.
Well, I can't wait to see these guys in action.
Let's go.
All right.
The question people ask me is what's my relationship with my dogs and my birds? And the fact is, I love my dogs and my birds. So when they fly away or something bad happens, it's a very sad day. Every time I turn one loose, I say, have a good life. And the reason is because every time you turn one loose, if you're doing what you're supposed to as a falconer, if you're letting them fly heavy and you're letting them fly wild, there's a possibility you won't see them again. There's a possibility they'll just go over the hill and enter the wild population from which some of them come. We've all lost birds. I've lost birds, every falconer that's flown them, and if you fly them the way they're supposed to be flown, you can lose them, and we do.
So what is this, Ralph?
It's called a hood, and it functions in the same way as a halter does on a horse. This is a basic piece of equipment that's been used for thousands of years. Essentially, these birds are 99% visual creatures. During times of stress or during times when they're gonna go hunting and they're real excited and they can't wait to get there, we'll put a hood on them. And then when you get to where you're going and you're gonna start hunting, you pull the two fat ones to open it and take it off, and the bird then knows that it's time to go to work. The other piece of equipment that any falconer of any age would recognize is a lure. Now, I shouldn't be waving this around in here, but it's the motion of the lure as well as anything else. From the time that they're small or from the time that you first catch them, you will tie food on here. And so that if they don't catch the duck or the grouse or whatever it is that you're chasing. You get them back by taking this out of your pocket, swinging it around over your head, and either throwing it on the ground or throwing it in the air or making sure that they can see it. And they will come to it from long, long distances. And they know that they will either get a reward here, or if they jump to my fist, they get fed. So it's a conditioned response.
So you weigh him every time before you go out?
Yeah, there's a number of rituals.
Okay.
But we weigh him every day. I know exactly what he should weigh, the range that he should weigh at different times of the years, different times of the day. It's just like a trained athlete. They can't be fat, and they certainly can't be thin.
What's that thing? What's on his back?
Another concession that the ancient falconers didn't have, although I'm sure they'd have used that too if they'd have had it. That is a little microtransmitter. And this puts out a beacon of radio energy at a given frequency. And if he should fly away, or if he should catch something in really deep grass and I can't find him, I have a receiver that tells me basically what direction he is. Mostly this sport is as it was 4,000 years ago.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
That's amazing, actually.
It's a step into the footprints of those that have gone before you.
Yeah. Well, let's go try it out.
I hope we don't need it, unless it's for the good reason.
Right.
Let's go.
Well, it's a pretty windy day, but we're gonna give it a try. We just let the dog loose, and we saw some grouse out in these cattails in this tall field, but we'll see what happens. Yep.
We haven't found the grouse.
We let the bird loose, so he's out up in the sky somewhere, but the sun's so bright that it's hard to see him. We think he might just be climbing right now, trying to get higher, but we don't know. I'm gonna go follow Ralph. Do you hear his jingle? Yeah, because I just saw one take off and then land, like, not too far away.
You get it in every direction. It usually means they're very close.
Yeah. Oh, see, there's the grouse.
You hear the dog?
No, but I hear the grouse.
You see a grouse?
Yep, it just is flying right there.
Thank you, Hannah. You might stand up here for the rest of the month.
I thought I heard his jingle for a sec.
Well, if we flushed one, he'll chase it.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back. This is just goofy that we can't find him unless he's up really, really high. Sometimes it's impossible to... No, there he is, and he is up pretty dang high.
Oh,
See
that's
him
him right there?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the grouse.
There goes the bird.
Oh my gosh, that is cool. Oh, there it goes.
Walt hit one, but not very hard.
Yeah.
And then chased it over the hill into that cover.
Ralph's in there searching with his telemetry.
Meet me back over here.
Bit off a little more than he could chew.
Yeah, literally. Nice flight.
Really cool thing to see.
It's a little piece of nature not many people get to see, and I really appreciated having the company out here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
A little frosty today. Looks like the visibility's too poor to fly any falcons, so I think we're just gonna wait it out. Tomorrow, John and Benny are taking me hunting. Hopefully, things go as planned. Are you gonna run 1 or 2 dogs today?
I've got them both. I didn't have the heart to leave the old one at home. Okay. Wyatt, come. Like I said, it's easier to train a hawk than a dog. Wyatt, come. Point now. What do you think, Jackie? I don't believe you. I think he's backing the other dog. So the white dog is not pointing anything. He's pointing the other dog pointing.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna try it. And if there's nothing there, we just keep going.
Okay.
Benny, you want to let me do this without fighting me all morning? You've only done this about 1,000 times. All right.
Oh, wow, he is ready to go.
Yeah, he doesn't sit around. Now we wait a while.
Okay, I see.
Come on, Jack.
Woo! Oh, man.
They're almost impossible for them when they're coming at them. They missed that one. Stinker. Boom. He knocked it into the cat.
Wow.
Did you hear him hit it?
Yeah.
Those grouse time that stuff so well. Yeah. The dogs are acting like he's right here. Woo! What the heck is going on? Yeah, there he is. Okay.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna let him eat on that for a little bit, so if you want, you can get closer to him.
Okay.
Hey! Jackie! He doesn't
That's-
care how close you are.
That's
If
funny.
you move slow.
The dogs are like right up next to him.
He's already eating the head and neck. They eat fast.
Yeah,
The wild birds, like Ralph Peregrine, eat even faster.
really.
Come here, Benny. Good dogs. Easy. Easy. No, I don't think it got up again. So the first thing I do, as Ralph probably told you, is hook them up so we don't have some kind of disaster. At this point, we'd like to keep it a nice day. I love the smell of grouse guts. They smell like popple trees. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. He gets the head and neck and the heart and the liver, and we get the rest.
So, what's the difference between a falcon and a hawk? It's probably pretty rudimentary,
Well,
but
There's part of the difference, long pointed wings.
okay.
Falcons have dark eyes, which is, these are the physical outside characteristics. And the other thing he has, which you might be able to see, there's a little notch on his beak, like a tooth. And that's basically an adaptation to killing their prey. And what they do is, I'm gonna touch you,
Okay.
is they bite you right in the cervical vertebrae and it snaps that neck real fast.
Oh,
And
okay.
they can kill stuff a lot faster than a hawk can.
Really?
Especially bigger things. Oh yeah, I assume an evolutionary adaptation. You want me to clean that around?
I'm getting the feeling that success doesn't happen every day, but this week, both Ralph's and John's falcons caught grouse. Back at camp, we prepare for a feast. We cook the grouse over a fire while John prepares an amazing dish of veggies and yams on his wood stove. It's funny how a good day of hunting, regardless of the method, brings people together. Ralph and John have shown me this method of hunting and made me feel welcome with a delicious meal at the end of the day. I'm about to take off and Ralph's not around, so I think I'll bring home a souvenir. No, I'm just kidding. But it has been quite a week. I really have gained a lot of respect for the falcons and the falconers and the dogs. To see them all in action, these guys have dedicated a lot of time and effort to the sport and a lot of patience. I'm completely honored to have experienced this.